Welcome to Getting In, a College Coach Conversation. I am on my second try of taping the podcast with video. So those of you who are seeing this, hey, here we are. We're live. I'm very excited. It's fun to do this. It's fun to actually see my colleagues when we are doing the broadcast. I don't really know what to say today except COVID-19. Kind of enough said. This is typical. The handle came off of my office door today. I don't know. Why not? I guess I'm using it too much because I'm home all the time. I did want to let everybody know we do have a set of COVID-19 resources. They're available on our blog. It's blogs, it's videos. You can find it at blog.getintocollege.com. We are updating on a regular basis. Things are changing so frequently. So if you're interested, please do go check that out. You can actually register for the blog and then get things delivered directly to your mailbox. Very exciting. I know you guys have lots of questions. We have lots of answers. So we're going to be doing a lot of Q&A today. We're also going to be doing a segment on COVID-19's impact on college finance, since that's obviously top of mind. But before we get to that, we're going to start with some questions and answers. I'm excited to welcome my colleague, Amy Alexander, who's a former former admissions officer at Yale. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Beth. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining. Amy is in the midst of the largest pandemic we've ever faced in our lifetimes. Amy's also in the midst of moving because, hey, why not, right? The door comes off the handle to my office. Amy's in the middle of moving. What the hell? Everything goes right now.
Exactly.
All right, Amy, my first question for you is around, and I got to stick my glasses on for this one, but we did a live Q&A earlier this week and answered a lot of questions for parents. And I will say that the most common question we got, I would like to share with our listeners to the podcast here, and that is, how can we help our child find her best fit college when the colleges she's considering have closed their campuses? What type of informational events will colleges offer in light of the cancellation of on-campus events? Do you think that colleges are going to offer some additional visiting options in late summer and early fall to compensate for missed opportunities this spring? Basically, what do we do if we were hoping to get to campus and now we can't?
Right. And I have a dozen students in that situation right now. I spent 4 hours in a row talking to 4 of them yesterday. What I want to start, and I know we're going to talk about seniors and making, what they can do to find a best fit now. And this pertains to juniors as well, because, their situation is going to be impacted. But what they need to know, and everyone is, this is the time of uncertainty. We don't know when things are changing. We're all anxious. But the first thing to do as a yogi of 20 years is to take a deep breath and know that everyone is in the same boat. So everyone is trying to find the best fit, seniors making decisions, juniors they can't visit during spring break or maybe even this summer. The great thing is everyone is stepping up like us. Look, we're on video, we're doing this, right? Colleges are doing the same. A lot of them for seniors are offering admitted student days virtually,
Right.
so you can go to events and activities, and that will be fun for students, and they should all participate. There's a lot of virtual tours going on all different kinds of platforms. Zoom is getting a lot of play right now. So, if you don't have these platforms, download them now and get on them, especially if you're in the midst of the college process, because that will help you. It'll alleviate some anxiety because you will be in touch. You will see things, okay? So I think that's very important. But in terms of finding the best fit, a lot of the colleges and their virtual tours are going to put, of course, the best foot forward.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think, a great resource is called, I think it's called campusreal.org. Mm-hmm. You can go onto that and they have you can put in campuses and you can take tours, look at the different student perspectives. You can go on to student reviews on niche.com. You can go to the college's YouTube channel. You could go to Instagram and student driven pages and look at what the students are saying. it's great to get the party line of what the college is offering because you want to see. And I think, though, the interesting thing is, Beth, yes, it would be nice to go back and visit, but you know what? Just in regular, everyday times, let's go flashback a month ago, a lot of students don't get to visit colleges before they apply. It's ideal, it's great, but they don't. So what they do is they go online. They look at the resources that the college offers. Now with the wealth of information, you can get information on faculty. Not only can you get information from the course catalog on who teaches and what they teach, look at your particular area of interest and see what professors are offering. What kind of research are they doing? What kind of projects are they working on? And you know what? They're home now too. Shoot them an email.
Right.
Say, hey, can I have 5 minutes of your time? To be honest, now probably more than ever, they'll likely respond. They want to help you. They want to lessen the anxiety, and they want to talk about what they love and what they're doing. So that's a great thing. Also, students are home right now. If there are any students in your hometown or in neighboring areas, maybe you can't go see them right now because of social isolation, but you can contact them and say, hey, you're coming from my neighborhood, from my school, or the school down the street. What's it like at that college campus? And ask for their opinions. People have some time now, and they're very willing to give it. So I think there's a lot of ways to think about fit without, people are, oh, I can't go back. Well, a lot of times people don't go back for various reasons. So we're just going to do that. We're all going to do that now. And there are plenty of ways to do that. I think the most important thing, though, that I tell my students, what are the 3 to 5 must-haves? Maybe it's a city. Oh my gosh, I love art. I want museums. I want to go to music performances. I want to be able to, go to different inner city parks. I want to volunteer inner city. Or maybe, oh, I don't want city. I want a campus. I want a real enclosed campus. Well, you can learn that by looking at the setting, by looking at the pictures, by getting a sense of the campus. If you decide what your 3 to 5 main things are, that's going to be really helpful. And you can alleviate a lot of schools, whether you're a senior making your final decision or you're a junior kind of choosing which colleges to kind of put on your list now, maybe without being able to visit. I had a student who put yesterday, she said, I hate to admit this, Amy, but I really care about food. And I said, don't.
Who cares about food more than me and you?
Come on, I have a Jewish mama. I care about food, Right? And I said, nothing is silly. Nothing is considered odd. Of course, academic offerings should always be the first and foremost in choosing, driving. But you know what? If you care about what the dining hall options are, what the cafe, the student center offers, the local community that you could walk to, then hey, that should be in your top 5. So nothing is off limits.
Right. No, absolutely. And ideally, when you put the list together initially, you knew kind of what those primary criteria were. But if you didn't, if basically your primary criteria was, well, they offer this thing that I want to major in, and all of my friends say this is great, and my grandmother thinks it's a great school. And believe me, we've seen that too, plenty. Now is the time to really determine what's important for you. And you are so right in that a lot of that information you can't find when you visit anyway. You're going to need to do that online. And while you can't sample the local restaurant scene, you can look online and see what is available to you. And is it a wasteland of fast food, or is there more to it than that? And if food's really important, that might be something that's important to you. Of course, my son would say food is important. And for him, that means like, is there a Taco Bell? Is there a Chick-fil-A? He likes other stuff too, but yeah.
And that's the great thing with, I think there's pros and cons to the internet and the wide world, and it's a lot of stimulation, but certainly now it's a wonderful thing. If food's important, look at Yelp, look at Google Maps, there's a lot of things you can use and not just that will give you instant information,
Absolutely. Yeah.
The other really big thing in terms of choosing fit, and I'm just going to share from personal experience of the last few days talking to parents and students, that I've been working with. And I'm noticing more and more, of course, finances. And I know our colleague is going to talk about that next. So I won't touch that one. But the other thing is I'm noticing 3 out of 4 yesterday said, I'm thinking of maybe being a little closer to home Or maybe instead of going across country, I was thinking of going abroad. I got accepted to 2 schools abroad. Now I'm thinking of keeping it within a 6-hour drive or a quick plane ride. Or
Yes.
so, that can also maybe be a new criteria that wasn't 6 or 8 months ago.
Yeah, no, I think we are seeing that for sure as a trend. And something to ask yourself, and for parents to, if you're listening, to ask yourself, and be sure you guys are communicating so that your child doesn't suddenly decide, you know what, I think I am gonna go for it. I'm going to California, and parents are like, no, 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 no. We want you here where we can drive to you if we need to pack you up again in the middle of a semester and bring you home. So lots of things to consider.
Yeah, but the other thing I think, to be honest, is things at some point we will have a new normal. We're never going to go
Yes.
back to the normal we had. That's just not reality. We're in a
Mhm.
global pandemic. It's unprecedented, but it will go back. And the great thing is, my son is a current junior. He's home,
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
semester for the duration. And a lot of his friends were abroad. And you know what? Our country, our airlines did a wonderful job getting them on flights, bringing them back. So parents should, yes, it's in a factor, maybe, but
Mhm.
also consider that we do really work hard on getting people back, and there are ways. And so, that could be a factor for some, but think about the fact that things will go back to a new normal, and that, they should
Yes.
consider all of the factors.
Right, exactly. And I think in the new normal, one thing that will definitely change is they will act more quickly, ideally, right? So, but that's a conversation for
Yeah.
another day. So, one of the big questions that we've been getting, so moving from seniors to more juniors, and young underclassmen will be impacted a little bit, but for juniors, it feels more important because I almost feel like it's a bit of a myth, this idea that junior year is the most important, because it's all important. Junior year is students taking some more rigorous coursework, and therefore those grades become more important. And we're getting a lot of questions. What happens when they don't get a grade? It's pass fail, because many high schools are moving towards pass fail, and will have varying policies about this, whether they count a grade at all for the whole second half of the year. Maybe they base the grade solely on the work the student has done up until the point where school was called off. So what can you share about your insight, taking insight from when we used to do admissions, how you believe colleges will handle this, and any thoughts about what students can do?
So again, I'm going to go back to, we are all in the
Yes.
same boat. And the thing is, too, we have a lot of parents. I know one parent wrote in, I think one of the questions was, my son has worked so hard. He's
Yes.
taking 4 or 5 AP courses. It's junior year. He has worked hard. This is his penultimate year. His grades are really strong. This was going to impact his weighted grades. I'm sad for him. And I get
Yes.
that. I get that.
Yes.
But guess what? The colleges are going to know that. So even if some schools are going pass fail, some are giving no grades, right? And I think
Yeah.
the state of Virginia is kind of saying we're just going to, forfeit the rest of the semester for some schools. So colleges are going to understand that. So they will have senior year. They will go back and have the fall. If they keep on that consistent or upward trend, that upward trajectory, colleges are going to look at that, and they're going to know that everyone's in the same boat, and they are not going to penalize students. Now, it's hard for a student to sit with, oh, I would have had 4.8 instead of 4.4. But
Right.
guess what? Everyone's is going to be calibrated in that way. So again, it's going to set an even playing field
Right.
because everyone's in it. When I worked at the Yale admissions office, when something like this, or it wasn't, obviously nothing like this happened, but if something within a family where there was an illness or a death or something major, and a student's one semester grades, getting completes or whatever, we'd call the guidance counselor. And then, okay, great, let's just kind of put that as
Right.
a level playing field. So I think it's hard for students, and I'm seeing some students say, all right, I'm going to try to do extra online things, and they're scurrying to do online projects and online things to beef up their application. Well, that's fine if you are self-motivated and you want to use this time, but I don't want it to create more anxiety, more pressure for students to add on, to do more, to do this, to do that. this is already an anxiety producing time. Spend time with your family. Try to take a walk every day if your state allows it. Do things for yourself. Do your coursework, do your regular schoolwork, do the best you can, do additional reading if you like reading, or math, but add on if you want to, but don't feel compelled to, because colleges are not going to hold it against you, and you are not going to be penalized.
Right, right, exactly. And the one note that I would say is for students who perhaps were not doing their best work and were looking to the remainder of the time to kind of
Yeah.
improve that grade, that's a little challenging. And I would say maybe for those students, it would make sense to do some online coursework where you could get a grade where you could show what you're capable of. Again, this is a brand new world for everyone. The colleges have always worked with what your school does. And I know that, the anxiety level ratchets up with the selectivity of the college. And I get that. And they're the ones who actually have the most ability to take a closer look, a really deep look. And just to touch briefly on what you were saying about the GPA being a 4.4 versus a 4.8, we looked at the classes taken and the grade earned. A GPA is actually almost a meaningless thing when you get to that very selective level. So it almost matters less than you think it almost doesn't matter at all. I mean, again, there's a lot of nuance to it, but don't be worried about hundredths of a point on your GPA, I think.
And the one other thing is, this happened in, February, March, when they started, closing schools and all of that. Colleges are going to see the courses you took. They're going to see what you signed up for. They're going to see if you slacked off. They're going to see if your first marking period grades. They're going to get they're going to get a little view. So, they're going to see that you took 4 AP courses. You were getting all A's or an A and a B or whatever. So it's not like, okay, we have nothing, Right? I don't know what the future holds. I mean, we're all hoping that this will kind of flatten out by the summer and we'll start back to school in the fall. We don't know. But for now, this is the information I think that students have to hold on to.
Yes, absolutely. Amy, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right. Well, when we come back, Amy won't be with us. Shannon will be with us. And we're going to be talking about the impact on college finance of COVID-19. So don't go away.